Welcome to the Social Dialogue Podcast. We're a mother-daughter team, both working in the world of social media management.
Join us as we share our different perspectives on life today, including trends, fashion, friendships, and career, and how social media impacts it all. Together, we bring two perspectives to one conversation.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
And we're excited to bring you this new episode of the Social Dialogue Podcast. Hi, Nana.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so tired.
I'm going to be tired tomorrow because I got both of my shots, my flu shot, and
Yeah.
somehow, remarkably, I got a COVID shot. I don't even know how.
I was so down bad after both of mine. It was
You
not
were?
good. Yeah. I was so tired.
So are these dogs.
They're always tired, Mom.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a topic I want to discuss with you today. There's a few pieces of this, okay? This is about Life360 or Finding Friends or any of those tracking apps. Okay, so I want to talk to you about this today. And the reason it's coming up, there are several things that happened recently. I'm going to start with our family. So you weren't here for, I don't even remember if it was Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur.
I was home for Rosh Hashanah.
No, but it was one of the dinners that you weren't here. I don't remember which holiday it was. Anyway, we're sitting around the table and I was reporting sort of as sign of the times. There had been one of those alerts the night before from your brother's university that there was a potential active shooter in the library. This was at 9:30 at night. And this is the world we live in, right? And it's scary and it stinks that this is the world you live in. And so I was kind of like talking about that. And in telling the story, I said, so I immediately checked Life360 to see where he was. I don't check Life360 often.
Dad checks it more than you.
Dad does check it. I think he's gotten better. Both of you at the beginning of freshman year, he was like, why is she getting at 2:00 in the morning? You got what text?
A text from Dad about, why were you up at 2:00 in the morning?
He's just jealous.
Yeah.
Just jealous that he has to go to bed so early because he has to get up so early to go to work.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got it when you both started driving. Well, we got it for both of you when you started driving.
You got it for me when I first got my phone and you sat me down in my room and you were like, this is like, I remember this so vividly.
How old were you?
When did I first get my phone? 12, 14?
I think.
I think I was 12. So I remember you sat me down in my room and you were like, the one rule we have is you cannot delete this app.
Right.
And you can't turn off your cellular. You can't do this. Which, first of all, our house is so hard to sneak out of anyways. But like, you were like, both of you sat me down. Like, I remember sitting on the floor of my room and you guys were like,
yeah, we signed a contract.
Yes.
With like all the rules about, not social media, but all the rules about the phone.
Yeah,
right?
Specifically, one of the biggest rules was life.
Yeah, but that wasn't because I was worried about you sneaking out. That's not really what it was about. It was really just about safety and thinking forward for driving, you know? And I really didn't look at it. I don't think there was never a reason to look at it until you could drive. I remember those first few days with each of you having your license and driving on your own to school and like literally tracking you. That's really the only time I did that. There was one other time I did it with your brother, and that was when he was in Tel Aviv. And
that makes sense.
We knew he was out in the middle of the night. And so all of the moms, we were all watching them, just making sure they made it back to where they were going. Anyway, okay, so I'm telling this story, back to my story. I'm telling the story to the family that there was an alleged shooter in the library at 9:30 at night. I wasn't exactly sure which library it was, but I kind of know where they are on campus, just having gone there. And then I checked Life360 to see where he was. I could see he was not in his dorm, but he was near his dorm, which is not near any library. So immediately I was like, okay. Now, I don't actually get the alerts from his university. I signed up for them when you were a freshman, first child. I signed up for them. I still get them. They're beyond annoying because I don't care if there's a water main break. And I don't care if there's, a road closed.
But there's probably a way to opt out of these texts.
There is, and I just haven't. They haven't been that bad lately.
No.
For a while, they were like consistent.
Yeah.
But I kind of learned my lesson. If there's something I need to know, I'm going to hear about it. I don't need to get the alert. So I didn't sign up for them at all for when he went to school. Well, of course, this was on the Facebook group. There's an alleged shooting. And so I immediately went to Life360 to see where he was. And then I texted him. I assume you know about this. Where are you? Is everything okay? He wrote back, I'm fine. Here's the situation. Here's what we're doing. Great. End of story for me. And then I said to him, at some point, just let me know when you get the all clear. That's it. Okay, fair enough. Well, the family Never. And the bottom line of all this was it was a hoax. It wasn't even a real shooting, which I don't even understand what's going on with that. Why are these happening on college campuses with these hoaxes? Like, I don't want a shooter situation, but also let's not freak everyone out and get resources all involved from the city. Like, can we just stop with all of this? Anyway, but when I'm telling this story to the family, they did not know that it was a hoax. At this point in my storytelling, it was a shooter. And the family stopped me right there with the life, really irritated that I track my children. Then it kind of got into my mom doesn't want me to track her. And somehow I still track my dad, but only on Find Friends, not on Life360, which is fine. When do I need, when I check it is when they said they'd be at the house at 6:30 and it's 6:45 and they're not here. And I check, I'm like, they're still at their house. That's really the only time I've checked it. And there was one time when I was meeting her somewhere and we were both in the parking garage and like the sign said the same word where she was and where I was, but we weren't at the same place. Like, it would have been easier if I could just track her and be like, turn left, I'm around the corner. Anyway, that's her choice. And it's funny because your other grandmother prefers that we're tracking her because she's alone. But grandma appreciates that we are keeping an eye on her because she's alone and, she goes places at night and she likes that we are tracking her. She doesn't mind it. So anyway, that's one part of the story. I want to get into that with the Life360. I want to talk to you about it and your opinion about it because I know you've been through several points of your life with the tracking ability. I will say also, it works both ways. Dad and I were at a Christmas party one time, and what we learned was that, and this is very generalizing people, but at a bar bat mitzvah, there's probably 45 different desserts and like some wine. But at a Christmas party, there is a full bar and a little bit of food. So we were starving. And when we left, we got a call from you asking, why are you in the McDonald's truck? Because we were hungry. So it works both ways. You track us. But the point is, I don't really track you.
I don't really track you either.
I mean, the only reason I have it is you are a single woman and you do go places by yourself sometimes. And you do go to the university where Lauren Spearer was taken and we don't know what happened to her. And it's just an extra layer of safety. If I message you and I don't hear back within a reasonable amount of time, I might check to see where you are. But I am not checking to be like, is she at this bar or this fraternity or this person's house? Even if I was to look, I don't know what these places are. What information does this actually provide me? So I think that with the family, when they kind of went off the rails about this, Dad and I were the youngest people at the table. They didn't raise children in a time of active shooter situations. So that's different, but it's the kind of technology. Listen, when I first got my driver's license, I had no sense of direction. I had no cell phone.
She still has no sense of direction, people.
I went over to Aunt Mara's house, which was like, 17-18 minute drive. I didn't take the highway at that point. I went through the park. It took me 3 hours to get home. I had no idea where I was. I mean, it's ridiculous that I don't know how to get home from there. I do now, but that I didn't then. And nobody knew where I was. How much easier would it have been if I had had Waze or I had had a tracking app so someone could call me and say, turn right, you moron. This is how you get back to Bardstown Road. So I want to talk about that. But then there's a second piece to this. And that is when the alert came out on the Facebook group, there were parents making up all kinds of crap. One parent said, my daughter is currently barricaded in that library. She can hear the gunshots. Now, number one, we found out it was a hoax. There were no gunshots. Number two, what I came to find out from reading, somebody who was a policeman in town they're also a parent, ended up posting and said that library closed at 7:30. So these alleged shots happened at 9:30, which means the only people who were in there was the janitor. Not that we want anything to happen to the janitor, but the people posting that my kid is barricaded in the library, that's not true. And so part of this is the parents flipping out and going to extremes and literally making stuff up. And that just spins out of control. And so the third part of this, and I'm going to kind of tie all this up and then I want to hear about your input, is that Jonah Platt has this podcast, which I love. I listen to it all the time. And he's got great information. And last week, or it was a few weeks ago, the beginning of it was all about social media and how it is consuming us because we're consuming so much of it. And he literally said, you don't have to read this. you can turn your phone off. You can put your phone down. You don't have to be consumed by all this. And so when the parents were like spinning out without real information, I kind of just wanted to be like, call your kid, get some factual information and calm down. So anyway, I want to kind of start with you about the Life360 thing. I want your opinions about that because I know you track your friends. You guys track each other. I know Ryan tracks people in his pledge class. And I just kind of want to know, where do you stand on it? Because I think it is a polarizing conversation.
Yeah. So at first, when you first were like, you have to get like 360, it's in the contract, blah blah, I was like, the fuck? Like, really? Who cares? Like, this is so stupid. And it felt that way for a while, especially because I couldn't drive. You knew where I was. You were the one taking me places. But I was like, this is really stupid. But I like didn't really think anything of it. I probably like never checked it. Now I kind of only use it when like I'm trying to see how far away people are, or I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, like when I'm in college and I'm driving to my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, just track me, or things like that. Like, that's why I'm tracking them. I'm not tracking them to like stalk them, but it's more about just like me being prepared. It's more for like, oh, this person said they're going to be here at 6:30 and it's again 6:40. Like, where are they? Are they on their way? Have they left yet? Things like that. Or like sometimes if I'm going to like a friend's house and I don't know exactly where it is, I'll track them. Or sometimes if I'm lost at a bar, you can, there's like a thing on Find My where you can, it tells you like which way to go to find their phone, like that specifically close. Like, it's more about convenience rather than stalking. Yes, I'm a D1 stalker and like that's a whole different conversation. But in terms of like specifically my friends and like having their location, it's more just like a convenience thing rather than like a stalker thing. I don't Sharing a location is mutual here. These people have to agree to share their location with me too. You know, Snap Map is a whole different thing because that's not mutual. And I use that to my
How does that work? Because I don't use the Snap Map.
Snap Map is like you get to choose who sees your location. So you can say everyone can see my location, everyone who's friends, and like you still have to be friends with them. It's not just like people who follow you. So if for some reason Taylor Swift or someone had their Snap Map on, it would only be for their friends. It wouldn't be for people who follow her. So like it's still a safety thing in which it has to be mutual and you have to choose who you're friends with on Snapchat. But when you turn your Snap Map on for everyone who's friends with you can see where you are when you're on Snapchat or the last time you were on Snapchat. Snapchat now has this option where you can do it live. No one does that. That's just like pointless. I know one person who did it and it was literally so stupid. Like, pointless. For me personally with Snapchat, I have it on for like all of my old roommates, my brother, because he tracks me more on Snapchat, like some of like my closest friends, but that's really like it. But Find My has to be mutual. Life360 has to be mutual because you join a circle. So it's more about like a convenient, not even a convenience, but like you trust each other that much to have each other's locations. I really don't see it as like this big polarizing issue. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If someone doesn't want to share their location with me, like it's not that big of a deal. But I have a completely different viewpoint because it's been on my phone since I've had a phone. I've had to have this app on. Just makes sense. Sometimes, like, I have one friend who, like, turned her location off, and I was like, why'd you turn your location off? She's like, oh, my phone isn't working. Things like that. She's one of my best friends. Like, I'm obviously going to be like, why can't I see you? And this was last year when she was still in college. So, like, I wanted to know where she was. I wanted to hang out with her. Or, like, sometimes, like, when we're at the bars, like, we'll be like, oh, who's at the bars right now? We'll go on Snapchat. We'll go on Find My. We'll see where people are just to know who's at the bars, you know? I'll never text them and be like, hey, I stalked you. I know you're at the bars right now. But I know I can text them and be like, hey, are you coming to the bars? Hey, are you at the bars? That makes sense.
Yeah. But what do you think about your parents still tracking you at 21 years old?
I mean, I don't really care. I don't do anything stupid. I'm not like a rebellious child. I've never been. Neither is my brother. You raised me right. Like, you know, like I never had a reason to sneak out. You knew if I was at a high school party or not. And in college, like, who cares? There's nothing you can do. You're 2 hours away. Like, there's really like nothing you can do to stop me from doing the things that I'm doing. Also, why would you stop me? I'm 21 years old. I get to live my own life, you know? Like, who cares if I'm at the bars until 3 o'clock in the morning? Who cares if I'm out clubbing in Las Vegas until 4 o'clock in the morning? Like, who cares for you? Like, why does that bother you so much, you know?
Yeah, I don't care if you're out doing whatever I didn't know you were out till 4 o'clock in the morning, but I was out till 4 o'clock in the morning at 21 as well. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do about it? I don't care as long as you get back where you're going. Now, if I wake up the next morning and I haven't heard from you, or I message you and I don't hear back, I would probably check to see where were you last.
There was one time in LA where
Yes,
where decided to sleep an extra half an hour. You freaked out on me, but you had my location, so you knew I was in my apartment.
I knew you were in your apartment, but like I go to sleep with my phone goes on sleep mode, and I have people who can break through.
Let's get back to that.
That's
Let's
a
get
different
back to
episode.
that.
We already did that on a different episode.
I know. I just have to bring it up again.
I can't help it. I'm a sound sleeper because I have earplugs because Dad snores. Can I tell you?
Okay.
That's all I got for you. Anyway, so yeah, so you sleep with your ringer. What do you sleep with your ringer totally off? Your phone is off? What do you do?
No, my phone is always on silent. The only noise I get is my alarm.
Yeah, and I do have do not disturb. I have the sleep mode, and then there's a list of people who can break through, but I have to be able to hear the phone. So, I feel like with your brother, the only time I really check it is if I need to call him, and I don't want to call when he's either at the fraternity house or in class. Okay, anyway, so I check to see like if he's in class or he is at the fraternity house. I don't want to call him, and because that's annoying to him. So, but lately, I mean, I don't really, he calls me. I haven't really needed to call him that much since he's been there, but that is a reason I check it, just because I don't want anything to ring. I don't know how he has his settings, and I don't want to call in the middle of class and have his phone ring, which he probably has it set on silent, but I don't know. And he's a freshman. I don't want anything to happen. So anyway, there are people my age that when their kids went to college, they turned off Life360, and they have very strong opinions that it shouldn't be a thing anymore. I kind of feel like if you're tracking your kid and you are concerned that they're getting home at 4 a.m., you probably need to do yourself a favor and turn it off. But if you're using it the way it's just there, if I need it, I don't ever really need it. So
It's not like we get notifications. Like when someone completes a drive, yes, but like you don't know like, yes, you know the street address of my sorority. Yes, you know like where the bars are and what street they're on. You probably know what street my apartment's on, but like, are you really thinking that hard? Like when you get the Life360 notification, Jenna
even look
completed
at
a
those.
2-mile drive it ended at this location. Like, who cares? Like, you don't know what any of that means. Sometimes I
No.
know what it means with Ryan, and sometimes I know what it means with you. But like,
Right.
you don't know what it means with me and Ryan.
You
Like, who
probably still
cares?
get alerts when I drive by the school.
Probably.
Because I think when you drive by, it says I arrived there. So you probably, and I
Yeah.
was just over there yesterday, so you probably get those alerts. But yeah, like when I see those alerts, I don't look at them because for all I know, it's grandma. And grandma is in and out and driving places all day long. She's very busy. So thank goodness. So I don't even look. Like, what do I care if grandma wants to get another cup of coffee? I don't care. Great. So it's interesting. I do think it is a generational.
Yeah. And everyone has a different viewpoint on it, but this is ours.
This is ours. Yeah. But okay, so here's a question. You're always mad that you don't know when Dad's traveling. But you get the Life360. You can always look and see where he is.
Why would I check where he is?
Don't you hear the plane thing? I get an alert when he's landed somewhere.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of
That's
notifications.
like a different sound.
Well, I don't get the sounds, remember?
Yeah,
But
I get the sounds. It says he landed here, he landed there. I'm like, oh, he's
It's also
where he's going.
like there's so many notifications that come through my phone every day through all of these random apps that like my brain is tuned to like only notice like certain apps. And this is maybe just like a 21-year-old thing, but like I take notice of my texts, my work chat, my email, things like that. But like right now, if I were to like check my notifications, like let's see, my calendar, my Life360, my Facebook, my CapCut, my random
You get
Snapchat.
alerts from CapCut? What kind of
Yeah,
alerts
I don't
you
know
got?
why I signed into it one day and it hasn't stopped. Like, Ulta Beauty, like mini Metro game, things like that. Like I have so many
Let's see what
random.
mine are. I don't know what mine are.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the thing. So it's because our brain is so tuned in to really only notice certain apps.
Yeah.
So like when I get those notifications from Dad from Life360, I don't really notice them. I don't really like click on them. Like who cares? But I like to know like when he's out of the country. Like, so, anyways, that's how I feel about the whole dad traveling all the time and not telling me situation because I don't track him.
Right. Okay. Well, I do have a Facebook story about this.
Yes.
This one's crazy. This posted, I don't remember when, and I don't remember which school. Okay. Tonight, my daughter told me she was going to a fraternity party. When I checked Life360, why is she checking? First question. I could see she was somewhere else and I'm worried. Wondering if I should call the police to check on things. This is a reason to not have Life360. No, you should not be calling the police because your daughter changed her plans, or she went to the fraternity party and now she's somewhere else, or she is somewhere else on her way to the fraternity party. She's in college. Things are fluid. Plans
change every single minute. Like,
yeah. So no, you shouldn't be calling the police. That's kooky. Don't do that. What about you? Any social media trends that you've seen this week?
Not that many because my entire For You page. Oh, right now, Kim Kardashian and Alex Cooper just had.
Yeah, I got that's on my list of things to listen to.
Yeah, and so I've been watching clips. It's been all over my For You page. And besides that, like a lot of puppy stuff. But I think right now the social media trend is going to be Kim Kardashian on Call Her Daddy. I think that is going to be the talk. Also, dedication night on Dancing with the Stars. Obviously, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's on mine as well.
So, okay, what about you? Or was that it? Was that it for you?
That was it. That was it for me, was the person who needs to get rid of Life360. I guess that's it.
Love you.
Thanks for joining us on the Social Dialogue podcast. If you liked today's conversation, be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and a review and share it with a friend.
Keep the dialogue going with us on social. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
Thanks for listening.